Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the fall 2023 anime and kind of go over what I watched, what were my favorite animes last season, as most things are on break at the moment, waiting for the next season to start up, and figured I'd hop on some Pirate Warriors 4, play a little bit, and kind of go over my thoughts on the season. Which overall, it was a really good season. There was like a lot of surprises, good shows for me, and a lot of shit I was expecting to be good, and was awesome. And also at the end of the season here, we got Zom 100, just got its last 3 episodes, which were honestly pretty good, and they looked pretty good, and despite all the problems the studio had, they managed to put out some pretty good episodes. I think some of the emotions and like parallels to our group were a bit heavy-handed, but overall it was really good episodes. And then also, end of the season here, we got the Burn the Witch prequel that adapts the one-shot, which I super hyped about because I love Kubo's work, and Bleach is one of my favorite manga still. So I'm always excited to see more stuff from that universe being adapted into an anime. Now all I need is the light novel or Bleach light novels to get an adaptation, and then I'll be really happy. Although to be fair, the Thousand Year Blood War anime has shown us some light novel content. We got a Bonkai from the light novel, and some of the lore has been like expanded on that was revealed in the light novel with Squad Zero and all that, and the old world and whatnot with Yuha Baha. But yeah, we did get new Burn the Witch content, and it was really good. And for anyone who hasn't read any of it, it will make the first part make a bit more sense because it properly introduces one of the main characters, and it just gives a lot more context to what the hell was going on at the very start. But that really isn't what I wanted to focus too much on this video. I just figured I'd bring it up because it's something that I like just watched and really loved, but wasn't really a main part of the fall season of anime. And probably the most standout for most people, and a surprise to a lot of people, was Freerun Beyond Journey's End, which has been amazing, and I think is still. I posted a short about it a while ago when I said it was doing like one of my favorites so far, and I think it is definitely my favorite from the fall season, and I think it's still all of the episodes like 10 out of 10s. I'm very happy with the series, and if it literally continues at this pace, it will be in my favorites, like no question. And it's also just a really good adaptation. I've seen some of the manga now, and just like the way they adapt some of the fights and some of the panels into like a whole like montage or like just a full scene that just is so good, and they're like treating it with such care for like even the most minute things, and like it's just a beautiful series. Then the second half of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 we got, which was fantastic. They also had some problems with the studio and animators being treated like dog shit, which isn't exactly new in the industry, but they actually were talking about it, so it's probably pretty fucking bad. But even through all that, they managed to deliver like a really good season, and I think superior to Season 1 in my opinion. I think it was less consistent in the animation and art, but I think it peaked probably higher in my opinion, and like just the story of Jujutsu Kaisen and the characters and fights and everything this arc were just amazing. So seeing it animated is awesome, because this is the last arc I've read in the manga. Everything else, I've been spoiled on a little bit of stuff, but haven't read it. Which I'll probably end up reading it now, because I don't think I can wait like 2 years for more. Because I'm really excited, especially after Yuta showing up in the last episode was fantastic. and so excited because Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is like was one of my favorite parts of the entire series when it showed up as the movie, and even like the manga, like the prequel manga. I guess it was like more of like a one-shot type of deal. Was really good in my opinion. I liked a lot of the concepts that were introduced even that early on. And then another series that was honestly kind of a surprise to me, like Frieren, was the Apothecary Diaries. Frieren at least I already had on my plan to watch list, but Frieren I didn't until like the first little bit of people talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'll check this out. And it's fantastic. Honestly, better than I was expecting for that type of series. The main character is really good, and kind of like a bit of a dork, but a serious character still. And the relationship with the main cast has all been really good, and the mystery and like drama so far has been dealt with in a very good way, and not just like leading on for like pointlessly no reason. It seems like they're treating it with a little bit of respect at least, and also the animation quality is very high tier for what this series is, and it does basically everything it's shown off so far very well. And then a series probably much less people care about overall, but was still really good, and it was this core was much better than the first. Is the Ancient Magus Bride, season 2, part 2 was what we had during the fall season, and it was much better than the first part in my opinion. It's still definitely a step down from season 1, because season 1 was so good in my opinion. Just the studio that was handling it, the art and animation, and just like everything was so stunning. And also, I kind of preferred the more not slice of life, episodic nature of the series. With season 2 and this core, like we've been focusing much more on like a more focused storyline and not just like little one-off things, which kind of became a thing near the end of season 1 once we went into all the stuff with what's his name in the well. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. And then a pretty unique series that I actually am loving more than I thought I would, but I also think it could be a little bit better in some departments and kind of has a bit of faults. But overall, especially the storyline and the world building so far has been really interesting, is Undead Unluck. Also, I really like the main cast so far, and the interactions between Fuko and Undead have been really good, and just like the whole setup is very like an RPG game, and the concept of like adding the rules is very interesting, and so far the power system seems very cool. So I'm excited to see that going forward to next season as well. Another show I'm pretty excited to see going forward and see how they continue going and how they expand on the world is Shangri-La Frontier. So far, it's been pretty damn amazing. I didn't even pick it up until recently, like the end of the season, but overall loving it. I think it's a pretty cool approach to the stuck in a video game, because they're not really stuck in a video game. It's just them gaming and their kind of experience and past experience with other characters in the series, and overall just really enjoying it. I really like how they continue showing the old games that the main character was a part of, and how he met like some of the old his old friends and stuff, and how he played in different games, and kind of how it translates into his experience in the new game. It's just really cool, and a lot of the systems in the game are very interesting. So I'm excited to see how it goes forward. And it does seem like there's some sort of stakes definitely not life or death for the main characters or anything, but it seems like there is a reason to not want to like lose and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see how they treat it going forward. And then in the fall season, we also had Ronin Kenshin ending the remake, which it also got a sequel announced already, which I'm super excited about because it's definitely has some lower points than the original, but it's been more faithful to the manga so far, which I'm really excited about. And if they continue at this pace and they can make it to the content the original anime never got to, I'll be more than happy. And plus, the next arc will just be really good regardless, even if it does have some dips in quality or anything. But for the most part, a lot of my favorite moments were covered pretty well. Like the only glaring thing I can remember is the Gatling gun had some pretty atrocious CGI, which kind of took me out of a kind of emotional scene. But other than that, the overall of the anime was really good, and I liked how they included some of the. I think it was like a prequel chapter that came out in like 2014 or something, but they added that in, and they added a couple of scenes from Kenshin's backstory earlier on, which is kind of cool. So I'm excited to see how it goes forward with the Kyoto arc next. I don't know. I think it's in 2024 sometime. I think, which it's not too far away. I guess just a year. But I literally have so much anime to watch, so I am usually not too angry when I have to wait a bit between seasons. It gives me some time to catch up with all other shit. And another show that I didn't actually watch until 2 weeks ago or something. I think I only watched 2 weeks airing, and the rest I watched all at once. Was the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, and better than I thought it was, because honestly I thought it was gonna be another case of The Eminence and Shadow, which I know some people really like, but I was constantly told that it was gonna be this amazing parody of the isekai genre, and I honestly find it tries to eat its cake and have it too, way too much with that series, where it's trying not to be serious, but it also wants you to take it serious, and it spends so much time on that it kind of kills the parody aspect of it. And people were trying to sell me on this 100 Girlfriends anime the exact same way they did me on Eminence of Shadow, so I honestly didn't pick it up until later. But I really liked it, and it was much more a true parody satire sense. They literally fourth wall break all the time. There's a lot of it leans into the tropes very well, while also still giving the characters at least some sort of depth. So it's also just interesting to see a rom-com harem where the main character is literally actually dating all the characters, because it's usually the opposite, where there's 15 girls and they just don't want to give up and not let the other girls win, but also don't want to let any other girls lose. So it kind of just becomes this when they won't they situation, and never ends up happening until the last 2 chapters of the series or something like that. So it's actually cool to see a series that's actually going full force into we're actually doing this. And there's been pretty hilarious moments so far. I think the comedy's been better than what I was expecting going into it. It definitely wasn't my favorite thing that aired last season, but overall it kept my attention enough, and was funny enough, had enough wholesome moments within also a lot of just absurdist comedy moments that enough to keep me going that I'll probably watch the next season when it comes out. Whereas in Eminence and Shadow, I'm probably not going to continue watching after the first season. I dropped it after the first 20, because it just wasn't for me, and I don't want to I used to always finish stuff even if I didn't like it, but don't got quite as much time as I would like to do that, so I'll usually give the first season of a show a try, and if it's not for me anymore, I'll usually drop it, unless people really never stop talking about it, and it becomes like super mainstream. Then I'll usually give shows another try after a couple years, and maybe it fits with my tastes a little better now. But this season, or I guess last season, we also had Spy Family Season 2, which I really liked. I was also really happy with the intro, because the same person who sings for Uta sung the opening, Ado, which is like one of my favorite artists ever. I absolutely love her music. So seeing her as doing the opening was really cool. And overall, just I really like Spy Family. It's a very wholesome series. And this season we got to spend a lot more time with Yor, which I know a ton of people were wanting during the first season. And we got a lot of like slice of life, like chill moments. But we got two. I think there was like two like arcs that were a bit more serious, with the boat arc, and then some stuff with Lloyd that I guess wasn't too serious, but had some stakes at least. But overall, very good season, and I'm excited for the movie whenever I'm able to watch that, and it comes out on streaming services whenever that is. We also had the end of the third season of Doctor Stone, which this season was really good actually. I really liked it. I'm excited. Also was slightly worried considering the next season was announced as the last season. I'm pretty sure it was anyways, but that's worrisome because there's a lot of chapters left, like enough for 2 seasons. So the possibility of the 4th season being like as long as the first season, like the 24, 25 episodes or whatever it was, is pretty high likelihood. And I know I've never read the Doctor Stone manga, but I know from here on out the story like starts going like super fast paced. But there is one moment I was like slightly spoiled on that I'm pretty excited to see going forward. So definitely looking forward to the next season of that as well. Also this fall season we had MF Ghost, which is the new Initial D anime, which overall very basic first season, and definitely need to see more to form a full opinion, but it was pretty good to start off, and excited to see where that goes. We also had the second part of Dead Mount Dead Play this season, which definitely I enjoyed it more, and like seeing the story come together, I kind of see what's going on, but definitely not the most amazing anime I've ever seen before or anything. And then we had Goblin Slayer Season 2, which I think some aspects were lower than the first season, but I liked that we actually got a decent amount of character development within the characters, and seeing the cast grow a little bit is actually cool for a series like that. And always excited for more Goblin Slayer. It's never been like the most amazing series for me, but I like it enough. And then the 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, I finished today actually, or got caught up with it. And excited to see where that goes. Kind of not the best thing, has some janky CGI here and there, but better than the last season of 7 Deadly Sins anyways. But that'll be all for this, and I'll probably talk to you guys later. Peace!